with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News Nowcast.
Welcome into this Wednesday edition of the Erie News Nowcast. I'm Mark Soliday. Let's jump right into our election coverage you can count on in that November race, one that's making some pretty big news even in this non-presidential, non-midterm vote. A Republican win to report this morning in the most closely watched Election Day race right here at home. Brenton Davis, an Army veteran, businessman, currently has a lead of more than 4,000 votes over Democrat Tyler Titus. Elections officials do say there are still more than 4,000 votes, mail-in and in-person votes that need to be counted on this Wednesday, but mathematically it looks like it's a basically insurmountable lead for Brenton Davis. Tyler Titus, the Democrat in the race, has yet to officially concede. The battle for Erie County Sheriff turned into a lopsided win for the Democrat, Chris Campanelli, the Sheriff's Department veteran, scoring a more than 10,000 vote win over Republican Brian Shank, who was a former corrections officer. Campanelli says he's proud to have run what he called a clean campaign. In the state of Virginia, they're going to have a Republican governor, the first time for that since 2014. Glenn Youngkin, the projected winner of really one of the most hotly contested races across the country.
A campaign that came from nowhere. But we were joined by neighbors and friends of all races, of all religions, of all ages, of all political ideologies. And it turned into a movement.
Businessman Youngkin beating former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. Virginia is a state that President Biden won pretty easily back in the 2020 race. McAuliffe's loss seen by a lot of political observers as a sign the Democratic Party may need a new strategy when it comes to future elections. Other big races on Tuesday, New York City, that mayoral battle, Eric Adams, the projected winner in that one. And New Jersey, the governor's race remains too close to call this Wednesday morning. Meantime, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, we're learning this morning that ballot initiative to change policing there has been rejected. Yeah, voters in the city voting down that measure that would have given the Minneapolis City Council oversight over their new Department of Public Safety, of course, all in the wake of George Floyd's death at the hands of Minneapolis police last year. Meadville voters have elected that city's first female mayor, write-in candidate Marcy Kantz, with a lead of more than 200 votes out of about 1,800 cast. Again, like in some of these other races, absentee ballots, mail-in ballots do still have to be counted. Kantz, though, announced plans to wage her write-in campaign back in July. Meadville businesswoman Jamie Kinder had beaten the incumbent in the primary, but again, it's Kantz who appears to be the write-in winner this Wednesday morning. A Republican victory in the race for mayor in Warren. The GOP's David Wortman more than doubling the vote total by the Democratic candidate for Warren mayor. That was Phil Gilbert. Voters in Pittsburgh have elected that city's first black mayor. The Democrat Ed Gainey going to be the Steel City's 61st mayor. He's 51 years old and going to succeed Bill Peduto in that mayor's office down in Pittsburgh. He's a fellow Democrat that Gainey beat back in the May primary. Over in Ohio, Cleveland's elected a new mayor as well. He is political newcomer Justin Gibb with a substantial lead in that race this morning with some votes still being counted. It's the first time Cleveland's elected a new mayor since 2006. And up in New York State, incumbent Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown looks to have won re-election despite losing in the primary, then having to wage a write-in campaign. Brown winning an unprecedented fifth term, it seems, as Buffalo's mayor. That's the apparent result this morning, beating out Democratic nominee India Walton by more than 10,000 votes. And voters in Mill Creek had to elect a new township supervisor, and Democrat Kim Clear looks to be the winner in this one with 55% of the vote in that race against Republican Kirk McCaslin. Clear's a 45-year-old school teacher elected to Erie County Council back in 2019. And on the other side of Erie County, voters had to decide a township supervisor's race in Harbor Creek. And in that one, Republican Tim May looks to be the big winner, got about 2,000 more votes than his Democratic opponent, Trevor Pearson. And yeah, there are a lot of other races that were on the ballot for voters on Tuesday. You can check out all of the results by heading to our website, erienewsnow.com. Elsewhere on this Wednesday, the CDC has given the green light to Pfizer's COVID vaccine to use in kids ages 5 to 11. Those doses, about a third of the adult size. Apparently, trials show that 2 smaller doses generated just as strong an immune response in kids as those largest doses do in people over the age of 12. Doctors, nurses, and pharmacists can now start giving out those child-sized COVID vaccines. According to the folks at UPMC Hammett, families can now start making those appointments for 5 to 11-year-olds. That was a bit of a white start in spots across the area this Wednesday morning, David.
Yeah, we certainly had a little coating of snow out there in Warren. Right now, as we do look outside, can't really find those hints of snow, but you look up into the higher elevations, at least an hour ago, you could see a little bit of extra white on some of those treetops, some of that snow stuck there. Here's Scandia. This is northeastern Warren County from Shelley this morning, picking up roughly an inch or so of accumulation. Right now, as we head closer to the lakeshore, upper Peach Street, you can see we still have some of those clouds out there, a little bit of rain, still some snow, even some snow pellets in there as temperatures are certainly on the chilly side, lower 40s right now. You can see that we're still continuing to pick up on a few pockets of snow out there towards Waterford into Edinburgh, down to 19, even into the Cambridge Springs area. We're seeing a couple of those snowflakes, and you can see them through the southern tier of New York and back into Warren and McKean County. So Futurecast will still keep a few spots of snow going, and we'll also have some sunshine in between. It will be a chilly day. Highs in the lower and middle 40s. Later on tonight, still a little bit of a rain-snow mix near the lake shore, but we're really not expecting too much as we go through the day on Thursday. Again, a few more of those showers kind of moving on through as we get into the afternoon hours towards the end of the workday. By Friday, most of the activity has completely wrapped on up, and we will definitely have some quieter weather as we head on into the weekend. Right now, temperatures in the 30s out there. You can see 34 in Jamestown. It's chilly along the lakeshore, but it is 10 degrees above freezing. 37 in Meadville, 37 in Titusville, and we do have a bit of a wind out there, and that's certainly allowing for those chilly feel-like temperatures down there into the 20s in Jamestown as well as Bradford. So you got to dress warmly for today. Your zone outlook as we go county by county. We'll have a partly sunny sky today. Temperatures into the lower and middle 40s. Still an isolated rain or snow shower out there throughout the rest of today. Crawford County, lower 40s for you guys. Some spots like Scandia, Sugar Grove, really up there into the higher elevations. That's where we could struggle to reach that 40-degree mark. But I'll tell you about a warming trend in the forecast in just a moment.
I guess it's only fitting on this day that we're seeing a taste of winter, one of the first of the season. The boys of summer are wrapping it up for another year. The Atlanta Braves, they are the World Series champs this morning. It's the first time they've won that title in more than 2 decades. Yeah, the Braves really took it to the Houston Astros in Game 6 of the World Series last night. Pitcher Max Fried tossed 6 shutout innings. And it was Jorge Soler with a home run that really cinched that one. And there's the final out. The Braves winning over Houston 7-0, that final score. The Atlanta Braves' first World Series title since all the way back in 1995. And the waiting continues for my Indians, soon-to-be Guardians, and I know your Cubs at least won the World Series a couple of years back over my Indians, but we're all waiting, it seems now, for next season.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good 5 years ago today, and I know Atlanta Braves fans obviously feeling quite happy this morning. You know, they had a pretty long playoff stretch to where they just couldn't win the World Series, and now they have done it once again for the first time in a little while. For us, we see temperatures, they are heading on up into the 50s. As we head on into the weekend, we got some chilly starts, certainly a little bit of frost out there as we get into the weekend. May have to use that ice scraper on your windshield, but you can see the weather is quiet. We fall back. Of course, we do that before 2 a.m. Sunday morning, and temperatures could actually be getting into the 60s next week.
We do the NOWCAST thing about the same time every morning, so we'll see you here on Facebook Live tomorrow. We'll be on air at 5 a.m. for that Thursday edition of Erie News Now Sunrise, and we'll see you then.